Good evening to everyone I haven't spoke to yet. I'm here. I'm just trying to make sure I get everyone in the room. So good evening to everybody. Good afternoon to those of you that are now the Eastern time.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you.
Too slow for me.
Okay, apologies everyone. I had to some people had trouble getting the link, so I think we have everything in place now. Everyone doing okay?
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're excited to be meeting with you all again. I just got off another meeting with National, so I apologize for my tardiness. But if everyone's okay, I think we got pretty much all of you here represented right now. If everyone's okay with starting the meeting. It's what time is it?
8:05.
8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good evening and afternoon to everyone. I just want to thank you all for your time and your commitment. I see by the emails going among the community committees that you all are up and running and taking off, and I'm really excited about that. But I did want to go ahead and do a basic roll call to see if we have representation from all the committees. Do we have someone from the breast cancer committee?
Yes.
Yes.
COVID-19?
Yes.
Okay. Health equity. Oh, I'm sorry, affordable health care.
Yes. Yes.
HIV/AIDS.
Yes.
Okay. Maternal health
Yes. Yes.
and mental health.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So we'll go ahead and begin. As you all know, we met last month, I believe, and we discussed the breakdown of the committee and getting everyone on board to hold on one second. And getting everyone on board as far as your subcommittees and the work that you all will be working on together. But I want to ask you all, did you all, has everyone had a chance to create their proposed calendar of initiatives yet?
No, not yet. We're still in progress for breast cancer.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
And the HIV team, Shanna, we're meeting next Tuesday. We just wanted to get, Melody and I wanted to get through this call just to make sure we were clear on objectives and so forth, so that we were communicating accurately to our committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Same thing with COVID. I kind of wanted to have this meeting first to kind of get some direction on what we needed to do and how we needed to move.
Okay.
Maternal health discussed a lot of ideas that we wanted to put into place, but we're on the same page with trying to figure out what the schedule is going to look like.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to ask you all, because I know that there's different different months that are specific to your particular subcommittees. What would be easier, do you all think, as far as getting or putting that into play, as far as scheduling an initiative or a proposed initiative? Would it be easier to stick to a particular month or time frame? Or is there something you guys had in mind?
Well, of the mental health, we talked about doing things like May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and then, going on down the line, June, you had some other things coming up. So we tried to do it on a theme, but we're still discussing that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I know
So go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's okay. For breast cancer, we definitely was shooting for around September and October for our initiatives.
Okay. Anyone else?
So the question that we had on the HIV committee is, given the fact that, folks are from very specific states, is it the vision that we would try to roll out national initiatives across the country, or specifically working within the states that are represented on the committee?
Well, it would be something that we would like to focus nationally across our membership. So across state lines. Does that answer your question, Brother Imara?
Yes. So then it sounds like, so that we're clear, is that we would plan things and then bring it back to the whole in terms of how we would roll it out across the country to all the chapters?
Yes, sir. And that's why when we were talking last time, we discussed having a master calendar so that we're not overscheduling you all and that we can all support each other. And I know some of you all were talking about collaborating together. So we would have to really flesh out amongst your subcommittees and then overall together what that would look like as far as a master calendar, so that when we present it to nationals, we can see what direction, what we can and can't do. And I know Miss Mathis just on the call, and Miss Zenobia Moss, welcome. I meant to introduce y'all, I apologize. But that would be something that we would probably need to flesh out as far as once we discuss how we want to do that, then pushing that through to nationals so that the memberships are aware and engaged with that as well.
So would we be responsible, because with mental health, like Kimberly said, next month is Mental Health Month. We had talked about like each section having somebody come in and talk on whether stress management, depression, or some of the major mental disorders that are prevalent, within our society, so that was one of our initiatives. But then, would it be each section implementing that initiative?
I'm not sure, Miss Mathis, how would that look like from a national standpoint? Is she still on?
She's connecting.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I know, like with maternal health, they pushed out and Niara, catch me if I'm wrong, but they sent me a flyer to recognize the week of maternal health to nationals, and nationals sent it out. So I think as far as the time frame, I don't think that that's something that we can't do. But I would just need to know from nationals how that would work. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
No
And
problem.
we sent it out like pretty last minute and it was still pushed out. So I think anything is possible.
Right.
And
So
for the mental health folks, one organization that I would love to recommend, and transparently I'm on the board for, but that has really been doing some great work. It's called Silence the Shame. She's based in the organization is based in Atlanta, Georgia, but They've been doing things across the country, virtually. And the nice part is they tie in a lot of influencers and very high profile folks that, also speak to the subject matter. So they have these community conversations that really have drawn a good cross section of folks, both intergenerationally speaking, and from various communities across the country. And I'm happy to make the connection if that's something that team would like to explore a relationship with.
We would appreciate that. I was just going to ask you if you could send that information to Ms. Johnson and myself. We would really appreciate it.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm traveling today, so I'm doing it on my phone. If someone can send me a text, and I'll put my phone number in the chat, and I'll remind me, and I'll do a connection to the ED.
Okay, that would
Thank
be
you.
great. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Happy to help.
Mhm.
So with the mental health, is that something that you all are thinking about doing, like a webinar type thing, or like informational? Is there something in particular that you want to push out for next month?
So we thought about doing some kind of webinar, getting a speaker, and putting out a flyer as well. So yes, that's something we discussed in our meeting.
Okay.
So
And we're also having, I think, a meeting early the first week of May, I guess, and we could finalize all the details.
yes, we are next week.
Okay, awesome. Did you want to go ahead, Ms. Zenobia?
I can. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm Synovia Moss, and I am humbled to be able to be a co-chair for the COVID subcommittee with Dr. Elgin. It has just been amazing, the energy and the excitement that our committee members, as I know that each of you all have as well. I'm coming with my other hat on. I am the new project manager for the Good Health Wins initiative for NCNW. It is Women's Immunization Networks. It is a 5-year grant through the CDC that NCNW will be implementing. It's a 5-year grant beginning in 11 states across the US, and it includes other national partners and our national affiliates. So we would love to be able to give you a real high-level overview of that one day, if not at our next meeting. But for tonight, I wanted to share with you all that what we are doing is looking at and creating immunization networks all across the US, and really addressing the response to COVID-19. As you all know, how it is a major health equity issue in the US, but specifically getting this COVID and dealing with all things vaccine. I'm asking, one of the things that we are planning to do is to have a national webinar or a national town hall series around Good Health Wins, looking at COVID. So if you all could identify a workshop based from the lens of your subcommittee. So for example, if we could have a webinar on the impact of COVID on your mental health. We know that we are all dealing with mental health issues, or looking at the issue of vaccines with pregnancy women for the maternal health group. So just if you could identify a workshop or an expert and that we could utilize, we see you all as the experts across all things Good Health Wins. And so we look to collaborate with each and every group to make sure that as we roll out building and talking about immunizations, year 1 of the grant is dealing with COVID. Year 2, we'll be talking about immunizations across the lifespan. And year 3, 4, and 5, we will be talking about immunization as it relates to some of the diseases, hypertension, autoimmune diseases, so everything immunization. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful 5-year journey with all of you all. So thank you, Sister Shara. And the 12 states, all of the state leaders, they're currently developing proposals. So as we finalize the proposals as our sub-awardees from our states and our affiliate and partner organizations, we want to share that back out with you all as well, so you all know what COVID-related activities are going to be happening across the country with NCNW. Thank you.
for COVID. Are you all familiar with the campaign of We Can Do This campaign in regards to COVID through HHS?
So we have a repository of all of the national media campaigns. We are working with all of those major large organizations, Made to Save, the National Ad Council. We're looking at the respective, each state probably has its own statewide campaign as well. So the state leaders are looking to leverage that, and NCNW is going to have a media buy as well. So if there's anything that you all have or you all know about, resources that we can share out, we will be happy to become a part of those initiatives and or connect individuals wherever we need to support the work that's being done. So thank you for that.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat because we actually just had a Zoom this past week, and I think with what you're doing is an amazing job, with your initiative and everything. And I think this would be something that you all, your committee would benefit from. So I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Ms. Novia?
I do have a question, and I know we talked about there being a master calendar. Will that reside for the public on the NCNW website?
It can.
Because I was thinking that might be, because we can always drive people there, or I mean, if there's a possibility of like having a drop-down link as the health initiative, and then that master calendar, I think that'd be great.
I think that's a great idea, Ms. Brother Amara. And I think that's something that's very doable. Although I don't have the say so on that part, that's definitely something that we can push to nationals to. I don't think it'll be a problem, but I don't know if Ms. Mathis is still connecting or not. She has the say so on that part.
Text her.
Okay. But Brother Mark, I think that's the idea, is to create a master list so we can give it to members so that they know what's going on, and just keep them engaged and updated on what we're doing. I have talked to nationals a couple of times about building our content on the website as far as health equity is concerned, and providing information like that. So when we have events for each committee or overall a committee, that's accessible to all the members as well. And just to let you all know, I did send out the committee listing out today. So you might see an announcement through nationals about that with all your names on there and pretty much what health equity is doing. And that's another way to introduce health equity committee to the members as well. So you all will be listed on there. But with that being said, mental health, I know that you guys were talking about doing something next month. If you all can send that to me and I could meet with you all to flesh that out, and we can push it out through nationals. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, that's great.
Okay.
All right.
So would it be feasible? Because like I said, I know that September, October is usually focused on breast cancer and other health initiatives. And I know December is like, I know World AIDS Day is in December, but we have other national HIV awareness days. We have mental health initiatives that are usually set. Did you all want to stick to certain months for your particular subcommittees? Would that be easier as far as planning?
I think it would be, so we wouldn't be all over the place. If there's something tied to our initiative in a certain month, I think it would be easier to do that. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure what everyone else thinks.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do think it adds some structure to it. The thing I have, the only thing, I'm sorry, and I don't know this right off the cuff, is in there a month that's like Black Health Awareness Month or something like that?
Let me double check, because I know what you're talking about.
But
Isn't
I
that in
think
the summertime?
that's what I was thinking. So I was thinking, but besides that, I do think it adds some strategy, because then it gives us something. Okay, but I was thinking, but to someone else's point, that if we keep to thematic months, it adds a strategy to our messaging too.
Right. And I know I see someone just put Sister India and Sister Santi put the information in the chat. and that gives you the days. And I'm apologize because I had a list of that and I thought I sent it out, and I apologize. I just realized that I didn't send it to you all. But could we use that as our template to build from what they just sent in the chat? Would that work for you all?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's focus on building other initiatives and the proposed initiatives and dates around those days. And that'll keep us structured on the subcommittee initiatives and partnering with Good Health Wins. And then I also had another update for you all, if everyone's okay with that. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I talked with sister, our national vice chair, Donna Michelle Fields. I'm sure you all know her. She's amazing. And Sister Janice Mathis yesterday. And Sister Donna is joining the Affordable Healthcare Committee, but she's also presenting a collaboration with Health Equity and Colgate. And it's to push out health, oral health. And as you all know, a lot of our initiatives, most of them, if not all of them, have some form of connection with oral health, especially in our communities. So at the next meeting, I'm gonna ask for her to talk more in detail about that. But the focus will be trying to get our children and young people to have good oral hygiene and good oral habits. So I want to express that to you all. I think that's a very good other health initiative, and it's something that you all can definitely partner with her with as well. Because like I said, oral health, in talking to her yesterday, I actually learned a lot. I thought I knew enough about oral health, but I realized that with us having like COVID and HIV and maternal care, there's a lot of things that our people don't know that's relative to that as far as the different initiatives that we're having. So I mean, you all please provide your feedback, but what do you all think about that? I thought that was a really good way to collaborate with her as well and Colgate.
I think it is awesome. I just worked my ER shift on Tuesday, and I would say, 10 to 15% of the people that we see coming in have dental issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just dental pain. We have people that have cracked teeth. We have people that have abscessed gums and infections spreading into their face. And it's sad because it's really just a lack of education and understanding of how extensive it can be by having poor habits. So this is great. It's really needed.
Awesome.
Particularly since it's starting with children. I saw a 12-year-old, her jaw was just so large, and the parents just didn't really have any inkling how severe this really was and how this was a big deal. So I think we really need to target our children with that as well, and try to educate, our parents about the importance of oral health care at an early age, like when they're old enough to hold a toothbrush,
right.
They're 1 or 2 years old and just brushing their gums, if nothing else.
Right.
So that's an excellent point, Sister Yvette.
And and Donna approached me about it, like she's just so excited. Anybody that knows her, she's just a very happy person. She's very energetic about Colgate. And like I said, meeting with her yesterday, it was a lot of stuff even I didn't even know. And I thought, well, I'm grown, I know what I need to know. And there's things that she brought up, I'm like, I never even thought about that stuff. So it's definitely something that she wants to partner with as far as an initiative, but she also wants to serve with the committee, which I think is awesome. So I'll ask her whenever we find out our next meeting date if she would like to talk with you all about that and kind of flesh or present what the plan and the overall idea is. She's building up the content right now, and I'm supposed to meet with her in about a couple of weeks to kind of go over that with her as well. But I want to definitely let you all know that, because I thought it was really awesome seeing that it's an important health initiative as well. Are there any questions? Any questions about your subcommittees as far as fleshing out your initiatives for the certain dates that you all are focused on?
I have a logistical question. From the organization perspective, is there any mandate around in-person events versus virtual events right now? I know some organizations are saying, that on behalf of the organization that you cannot do any in-person events right now. So I want to make sure that if we do have that mandate from NCNW, that we're aware of it, so we can kind of add that into the mix.
Now, I know that something went out last year, and I haven't heard anything. Now, that doesn't mean it hasn't went out, but I haven't seen anything that has been changed from that. Ms. Mathis, has anything been changed as far as in-person events with NCNW?
I know we still can't do anything because
Yeah.
I work with the state of Florida, and I've tried to do a local blood drive and had to speak with the state president about it, and we're still absolutely not on meeting in person. Hopefully by the next calendar year it'll be changed, but we're still virtual only.
Anyone else? Any questions?
Sure, I don't have any questions, I don't think, but we are affordable healthcare. So some of the things that we're thinking about that has been mentioned, we'll be meeting next week, is looking at health equity and health disparities and how that plays a role. So while we don't have an actual month, we'll definitely be working around the other committees to make sure that we're not programming on top of each other, but finding ways that we can actually partner with each other. So myself or probably Dr. Hatcher will be reaching out to the other subcommittees, just seeing how we can partner with each other.
Okay, awesome. Awesome idea.
That sounds awesome. And on my committee, we sent out a survey and essentially just trying to wanted to see what the goals were in moving forward. But some of the priorities that the committee members had discussed that they wanted to see us work on was one of them consistently was healthcare disparities. So we definitely don't want to reinvent the wheel, but we definitely want to work with you in that effort. Ours, we want to focus on COVID, but we still need to understand the full complexity of healthcare disparities. So I look forward to working with you.
And you all should have each other's contacts, I believe. If not, I'll send that out, or Mr. Teresa will send that out tomorrow. I don't know how. I know some people weren't able to open the Google document for some reason, so I'll send it out in an actual email too for those of you that can't open it. And I don't know how to tailor around that, but I'll go ahead and send it in an actual email so that you all have that and are able to connect like that. That sounds awesome. But please copy me and or Mr. Teresa on that, just so I know sometimes people will ask me questions and I'm like, I don't know. So just so I'm in the loop so I can answer questions or direct them to you, depending on what it is, if that works for you all. So with that being said, looking back at, sorry, I'm looking at it right now. So
Sister Sheree, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sent out the information, or when we got the invite, I think you had a switch. She's going to be mad at me, but Sister Kimberly is chair, and then I am co-chair for the mental health.
Okay, I'll update that.
But either way, we're going to work together effectively.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So with that being said, is all minds clear as far as with your committees developing some ideas and proposals as far as what you want to implement, and then us working out how to flesh out and push it out through nationals? Will that work?
Yes, that's great. And the mental health committee, we're meeting next week. So the day after that, I will send you kind of the ideas that we come up with.
Oh, and with mental health, I also want to add, the human trafficking committee has reached out to partner with you all as well. So I'll give you her contact.
Okay, thank you.
I know we talked about that last time, and I hadn't had a chance to really discuss in detail with her, but she did send me a text and an email about it. So I'll connect you all so that you all can talk about that. Because like I said, I know the last meeting we talked about connecting mental health with human trafficking, and like I said, I think it's awesome to collaborate like that.
Yes.
With the different committees. Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. So let's see, I'm looking at my calendar. Is everyone meeting with their committees within the next 2 weeks or so?
Yes, we're meeting next week.
Yes, we're meeting.
Breast cancer. Yes.
Okay, so after you all meet, let's reconnect and try to figure out the next steps as far as implementation. Will that work for everyone?
Yeah. It'll work.
Okay.
Actually, our meetings are the third Monday of every month, but I don't want to stop the show, so we can always play catch up, but ours is like toward the end of the month. We've already had one meeting already.
Okay. And we can still include you in the conversation just so that you're up to speed. So that's no problem.
Okay.
Any other questions before I introduce Ms. Mathis, who I can hear now? I think her volume's working now. So all minds clear? Any other questions or concerns? Okay, Ms. Mathis, did you have anything?
Well, certainly I do. I want to start by apologizing for being late. This has been one of those days where Zoom started at about 9 o'clock this morning, and it's been pretty much back to back all day, which is fine for me because I just sit in this chair and look at a screen. But the little dog was bordering on animal cruelty not to take him out. So I was actually up the block trying to get him to do what he needed to do. I want to say thank you, first of all, to Shara Denton for taking on what has become probably more of a task or an assignment than she originally thought that it would be. But I will say to her, thank you, thank you, thank you over and over again for the professional and courteous way that she's handled this big assignment. And congratulations to all of you. You already knew how special you were, but after we saw nearly 200 applications to be members of this committee, you are the winners. Now, what did you win? A lot of hard work and more hours at the computer, but we are grateful to you too. And I hear the plans that you're making and it sounds just wonderful. And so, well, why do we need a health equity committee and a Good Health Wins group? You don't know the half. We've got sections of NCNW involved in Good Health Wins. We've got state organizations of Good Health Wins. We've got national affiliates of Good Health Wins. We've got sponsors like my friend Amari Kennedy, who I see his picture here. I hope he's actually on the call. And we've got a health equity committee because this is a huge endeavor that we're going after. And as we conceptualized it, we knew that it had to be layered. It had to be layered geographically. It had to be layered with expertise. I think of you, and we got some wonderful white ladies from Vaccinate Your Family who are our experts. But you know, trust but verify. You familiar with that phrase? I trust them, but I need you to help me verify what they tell me. I need you to be that really trusted community person who can go into that community and knock on doors and say, come on, y'all, let's go, we can ready to do this. And they will look at you and smile and say, okay, Miss LaShondra, if you say so, I'm gonna come on and go with you. I need you to be speakers. I need you to think about who speakers should be. I need you to think about what the webinar topic should be. Somebody mentioned that they're on Affordable Care Act, and so they're not sure exactly. Was that you, Ms. Ezell, talking about the Affordable Care Act? The Supreme Court got a case right. Supreme Court's got a case that they're going to announce a decision on sometime in October that will once again try to undermine the Affordable Care Act. Seems like they never get tired of picking at the Affordable Care Act. Just because millions of Americans are now insured, and just because 80% of Americans agree with the Affordable Care Act, doesn't mean that the enemies of the Affordable Care Act will rest. So we need to be finding out what arguments are they making against the Affordable Care Act. And I know the Supreme Court doesn't have to be elected, but they read the newspaper just like everybody else. They watch MSNBC and Fox and CNN just like everybody else. So they need to hear from us this summer to know that we intend to keep the Affordable Care Act no matter what the opposition is. So I will stop there. And if you got any questions for me, I'll refer them to Shara or to Ms. Moss, somebody who really knows the answer. But I'm grateful to each and every one of you. I am a little bit envious. If I was a little bit smarter, maybe I could have been a doctor or a nurse or something, but I wasn't, so I didn't. But I am grateful to you. And this is going to be work that we can look back on and be proud of years from now. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your time and your commitment. I see Sisters Network. You all are powerful force. I know all about you. I read all about you and been following your work for years. So this is really a dream come true for me and for NCNW, and most importantly for our people.
Well, thank you so much for that shout out.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mathis. Are there any questions for Ms. Mathis or Ms. Moss or myself? Okay. So I'll be reaching out to you all in about two and a half weeks, just to give all of you time to follow up with your committees. And then from there, we'll start building the calendar and pushing through the initiatives. Ms. Janice, we did have a question earlier. I believe Mr. Amara had one about would it be possible or feasible for us, once we finalize that calendar, to have it on the website under the health equity page, just so members have access to it?
Absolutely, it would be possible. And the other thing is we're building a Good Health Wins website so that there will be a repository. It'll be linked to the big website, but Good Health Wins will have its own site, microsite, where all of your information, anything you want to announce, anything you want to push out, we've got constant contact. We've got Twitter, we got YouTube channels. We got, what's the new thing that everybody's going to? Not House Party, but Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
We got some of everything going on at NCNW nowadays. So if you've got messages, please get them to me, to Ms. Moss, or to Mr. Johannes, who's our communications director, and we'll make sure they get out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. So
I'm sorry, Sister Sheree, can Ms. Mathis clarify? I think the question that had been on the table, if we are allowed to meet in person yet or not.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did ask that question. And I told them that I know a press release went out saying that we couldn't, and I hadn't seen anything that changed that just yet. Has that been changed?
We're discussing it. It's most likely, well, let me say this. We're in the midst of planning Uncommon Height. Those of you who've been in NCNW a long time, you know what Uncommon Height is, the Crystal Star Award. It will be November the 6th. And we are planning a hybrid in-person virtual event for November the 6th. We're not even talking about going back to the office yet. We're pretty much following the CDC guidelines. I would not encourage public gatherings in person at this time. Dr. Cole certainly has had an opportunity, but has not chosen to lift the ban.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Janice. That was helpful.
Yeah, we passed 30 pieces of legislation across.
And I was gonna say, Ms. Janice, you know everybody. When I heard you say Amara's name, I'm like, she knows literally everybody. Awesome. Well, if there's no more questions, I didn't want to keep you all tonight. I just want to reconnect with you all. And I know we said that every quarter we would meet with all the members of the Health Equity Committee, and we can still do that. But let's try to regroup, even if it's through email, just to follow up with your updates, and then we can flesh out the calendar and the strategy for pushing it out. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all so much. And I really love these emails, and I'm seeing the excitement and how everyone's just been hitting the ground running with ideas and everything. Because like I said, this is your committee and members are loving it. I'm getting emails and texts all the time about it. So I'm really excited to serve with you all, and I just thank you all for your excitement and your expertise, because this is really a phenomenal thing you all are doing together. Thank you so much.
Back and also
Thank
making sure
you.
that judges have
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night,
Good
everybody. Be
night.
blessed.
Good night.
Thank you. Good
Everybody,
night.
thank you.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Amari, call me.